Hello everyone. Today I will be going through these topics. Yeah. Uh, Today I'll be discussing about AWS S3 object S3 bucket operations. Basically, operations being how we'll connect to S3 buckets. Then we'll look into the operations which can be done on the objects on S3 buckets and objects basically using Sdk2 for Java. So I'll be covering how to upload an object, then download, then delete an object, then list all the objects, then generate download URL, then generate upload URL, and we'll cover we'll also check whether an object exists or not. And for some reasons we also need to create certain directories inside S3 bucket. So we'll discuss on that also. So first of all, let's start. First of all, I'll just give a brief about what buckets and keys are. So in AWS S3, bucket is something like a, a big container, a big container of objects. Okay. Uh, and objects inside that container can reside either either as a single object. Say for example, say for example, say this particular folder, this particular path is my bucket. So inside that bucket, I have two files, file1 and file2. And in this case, we don't have a like directory structure. We just have file1.pdf and file2.pdf. There could be one another way of storing the objects. Say for example, this much is the suppose a bucket name or bucket location. So inside that we can have folders, and inside that also we can have folders, and then we can have the files. Okay. So in these two ways we can store objects inside. I'll be using files and object interchangeably because mostly they are same. In AWS terms we call them object, and in normal terms we call them files. So yep. So we were at buckets. So these two ways we can store objects inside buckets. Now let's coming to keys. Keys are a bit tricky in AWS. Uh, key They refer key as a unique entity inside a bucket. A unique entity inside a bucket. So I'll share a screen. See, every object has two parts. One is the bucket name, which is common basically for one particular bucket, and the key. And the key part. There are two scenarios. I'll explain you both. See, Ashish underscore dev underscore bucket. This is the name of the bucket, which is common for all the objects. And the unique part is this entire path. Like, we can say key. This is a unique key. One object can have now. Two objects cannot have same unique key. Otherwise it will get overridden. Say I have a in this path I have a file called file1.pdf. So if I again upload another file with the same key and with the same name of the file, then it gets overridden. So we will lose the previous object, right? So, and we may think of it as a structure, but it it basically consider this key as a single entity. And mm, like in but what we see in the buckets is that we get folder structure that internally AWS creates inside a bucket, but they refers every object with the respective key. I'll In the video I'll explain how how this happens. Okay, how not how, like how we address a object using the a unique key. I'll show you. So connection with S3 bucket. There are two, like basically there is we have to get a S3 client connection only, and we have a presigner connection. We'll come to later about presigner. We'll just focus on right now S3 client. Okay, let me show you the code where we have created an S3 client object. Okay, connection basically. Yep. See, AWS, if you look into this object, this is provided. Yeah, I'll just explain you the dependency which I have added for this. For version 2, we have used, I have used this group and this name. Okay, so so inside this everything resides for S3 operation. So it makes it simplified with the with creating an S3 client. Here what I have provided is I have provided my access key, the secret key, and based on that, the region also US East 2. My region is, you see, you can see region is US East 2. So I have provided that region, and yep. And based on that I have created a S3 connection. See, it's creating a credentials provider, getting the region, then building the S3 client object, and I'm returning that. So let's start with first operation, upload object. Okay, one more speciality of S3 buckets, S3 services is that suppose I'll show you the code of upload object first. Yep, control F12. Okay, I'm not getting here. I'll just directly go to upload object. Hmm. Yep, in upload object, what I'm providing here is, wait, yep, in upload object, what I'm providing here is a file. For my scenario, I have used a file from my directory, but in certain scenarios there could be like you are uploading byte array or some data from input stream or buffered stream data that can also be uploaded, and I'm providing a key. What it is doing is it's like it's getting a S3 object and then creating a put object request. Here I have provided the bucket name. Here is the bucket name, and then the key, and then the build object, and the build method. So this way I have built the put object request object, and then I have passed it to the put method of S3 client. And the put method of S3 client has various overridden. If I see put object, we can see there are various overridden methods like consumer builder, put object with path, put object with request body. I have used the one with request body. In the request body, I'm passing the file. Okay, so with that, once the response is received, I'm checking whether it is successfully pushed or not. In okay, now let's go for the testing. Here I've created a simple test case. We'll check whether it's working or not. First of all, what I have done is I have two locations. First one is AWS path. AWS path is like the directory format in which I want to store my object in AS3. So I want there should be an archive folder, and inside that archive folder there should be an input folder, and after that I am appending the file name, say the file, yeah, and the local file path is, say, suppose C users, this is file1.pdf. This I want to upload this file to S3 bucket with the key would be archive input and file name. File name would be file1.pdf. So I'm passing file, the file which I want to upload, and the key. So let's yeah, I'll show you one more thing, that I don't have any directory with archive or input, right? I'll show you. This is the this is the only bucket which I have, Ashish Dev bucket, and there are no other folders or something like or directories like that. So what AWS does is it creates, one second, let me comment, yeah, when I run this code, this is due to a transitive dependency of AWS. Okay, see the message saying is object pushed successfully. So let's go and verify. See, we didn't have this archive or input folders in S3 bucket. Let's see what happened now. See, we have an archive folder. Inside that we have an input folder, and inside that we have the file1.pdf. Okay, so now I'll be showing you the uniqueness of this file is determined by the keys. You can see the key for this particular file is archive/input/file1.pdf. So this would be unique for every object, not just the file name, the entire like directory structure after the bucket name. This would be unique for each and every file. If not, then it would be overridden. Okay, so yep, so we have uploaded one file. Okay, so let me upload another file. So for that I will just need to change this to 2. Hmm. Okay, so I have pushed second object as well. Okay, let's refresh. Yep, file1, file2 with type PDF and size 4.9 KB and 4.7 KB as expected. Okay, so this is the simplest way of uploading an object into S3 bucket. Okay, so now let's go to downloading an object from S3 bucket. Okay, so there are two things we can do. We can either download that particular file into a local directory, or we can get the corresponding bytes and like read or write some data into it, and then we can re-upload that file to a S3 object. But here in this case, I am just downloading it into my local path. So, so okay, so the key which I am passing over here is exactly the key. This particular yeah, here the thing to be noticed is the key should be, the key which I am passing is archive slash input slash file name. File name for here, file name is file2.pdf. So file2.pdf. So this should be, yep, this should be the key which I am passing, and the local file path is as expected. Okay, since this is file2, I'll rename it to file2. And now let's just check. um, this is the directory where it should get downloaded. Okay, file saved to this location successfully. I'll just check once. Okay, I have my file. The size is 5 KB, and let's check. File to 4.7, around 5 KB. Okay, so let's go. Let's walk through the download object method. Here I have passed the key and the location. So you're getting it, like the key is the uniqueness. It defines the uniqueness of the object. Let's go for some another file and one more download. Okay. Hmm, okay, it's been downloaded. Yep, both the files are downloaded. So let's go to the download code now. uh, Here again I have get the S3 client object, and see, one similarity, and similarity, not similarity, just synonymity, I would say. We have to upload an object, we have put object request and response. Similarly, to get object, we have get object request and get object. Okay, this is response as an input stream I'm getting. So but the type is get object response only. Okay, here we have created a get object request with the bucket name and the key, and with that I am calling the get object method of S3. Even this also has various overloaded methods. Get object, so you can use based on requirements. So I am using with just the response input stream. Okay, and there are many other versions of it. We can discuss upon this in the next video. Okay, so yep, I've got the response, and with this response what I'm doing is I'm creating a, see, this is the file where, this is the location where I want that file to be stored. So I've created an output stream of that file, and then I'm writing inside that file the bytes which I'm getting from this S3 object, S3 bucket basically, for that corresponding key. And similarly, I'm just printing based on the input returned, boolean input returned. Okay, output returned, sorry. So this is the simplest download object method of S3 bug for S3 object access. Now let's go to, yep, this is an important point I want to discuss. Yep, this is, I'll clarify a few of the points over here. This is get list objects. Okay, so here we are providing a prefix. Prefix is kind of a, like, say there can be two kind of prefixes. First one could be, suppose I want all the objects inside archive folder. Okay, so if I just, I'll go with the with few of the test cases, then we'll get into the coding part of it. Get list of objects. So here I would be getting, guess what would I be getting? Just the input directory. Okay, your, so so as I said, the keys are not just a single, the keys are like the entire path, entire directory. In this video, this, sorry, yeah, this entire consists of a key. This entire consists of a key. So if if in the prefix, if I just write only input, then the all the keys which starts with input will be labeled, will be displayed as I'm doing a list object. And if I say all the files with PDF, if the prefix is till here, then we'll get this and this as well. So if I say all the PDFs with this prefix, but yeah, in this case I'll get only one file because there is only one file having this much of prefix, this much of name in it. I'll give an example. Say I have another folder. Sorry. Say we have another folder. So, dummy folder. Or I should say, to be precise, no, okay, dummy folder, and say I have a file over here. So, yeah, upload. Okay, and another file inside archive input. Yeah, upload file. Another file over here. So in total now I have three files. So if I give the prefix as archive input, then I should be getting three files. Archive, even in archive also we'll get three files. Input, I'm just trying my luck. See, I've got three files. Now if I like specify PDF, sorry, file, see what happens now. Sorry, it's in the incorrect path. It should have been here. File, let's see what happens now. Yeah, I'm getting only two files because the prefix which I've provided was this much, and only two files which are matching with this prefix. So key is like a unique name to a particular object in S3 bucket. Okay, now let's get into the coding part. Yep, I've got the S3 client object, and this list objects version 2 request. There is some like optimization in version 2, and it's like it's good. It's been useful as it is in sync with all the other request objects. Okay, so same say like bucket name, it's taking bucket name, and prefix is like what I discussed just now, that is the unique part of the unique like common part of objects. Okay, now the response, I've got the objects. Response.contents returns me list of S3 objects. Now based on that, see, this can be ignored for Java people because this is something which is based on Groovy. This is Groovy specific. I'll give you a short description about it. What it does is, it, see, we have list of objects, right? And we are converting it to list of names. Names is as in like list of strings basically. So what I'm doing over here is I'm getting the keys, each of the objects, say if I open this, and if I'll search for key, yeah, see, we are extracting the key from this particular list from this particular list of objects and storing it to name list. And yep, even here also I'm printing. This is groovy syntax, so here I'm printing. This is equivalent to for each in Java. Here I'm printing all the file names which I've extracted which I've got from here. Okay, so now let's move on to move object. Sorry, move object. Move object require a key. So the key which I'm providing over here is it's archive input file 2. No, in this case it's file path file 1, file 1. Okay, so in this case what will happen is I'm providing from key, like in my bucket there are two locations. So like I want to move my object from one location to another. So what I'm doing over here is S3 doesn't have any method which directly moves one file from one location to the other. What it basically does is it like copies the object from one location to the other, and we have to, like, not copies, like we have to manually do it. This is the convention they have asked for. There's asked. So what we did is we moved the file from one location to the another, and then we have deleted the file from that location. Let's first let's first do a testing of it, then we'll go to the coding part. See, from key is the key where I want the file to be extracted from, and the to key is the key where I want the file to be moved. See, here is the AWS path. AWS path is archive slash input, and I want a folder called moved, and there I'll have the file name. So just see, right now we don't have any archive input. We have three files and nothing else over here. Okay, so let's run our program. Okay, could not move file from archive input. Okay, there should be a slash then file name. Okay, yeah, let's try. I'm doing something wrong over here. AWS path archive input. Yep. So the problem over here was not this one. AWS path. Yep. I have to write. I have to make input as a directory. So I have to put this slash over here. So let's run it now. See, file copied to this location and object deleted successfully. Let's just cross check it. So we don't have anything over here right now. Even now also don't have. Okay, if I go to archive, then input, see there is no file 2, only file sorry, no file 1, only file 2 and part 1. So if I go to moved, see there is file 1. Initially the file was here and there was no moved folder. Okay, so this is working. Let's get into the coding part of it. Move object. Here I have similarly a copy object request had to be created, where I'm passing the source bucket, the source key, the destination bucket, and the destination key. And the copy object is copying that file from one location to the other, and then I'm calling a delete object method. Here I'm just passing the from key. A delete object is also a custom method. Okay, here I'm passing the key, and based on delete object request, um, I'm just deleting the object. Okay, I'll show you the I think, yeah, no, I'll just show you how how this works. I'll just show you a delete object operation. Let me hmm, 5 6. Oh, these are static objects, static methods. S3. Yeah, in the key part, what I want to delete is say this cust part CSV. Just to delete this particular file, I'll just copy the key from here and just paste it over here. Just check now. Object deleted successfully. Let's see. So in input, I won't be seeing that particular file. See, it's not there. Okay. Yep. Now there is one more method left. That is the two simple methods are left. First one is create directory. See, create directory is something which we may need. Suppose we just want to create folders, don't want to push files in that. But in previous two of our operations, say like in when we were uploading object, we didn't create this directory. AWS saw that there is no such directory present, so it created itself. Okay, and in case of move object as well, there was no such directory called moved slash something. Okay, so it created in runtime only, and created along with a file as well, like created the directory as well as moved that file. But what if we just want to create the directory only without any file names, or yeah, without any files? So in that case, I have used this create directory method. Here what I'm doing is, suppose I have folder structure like archive, output, and moved. I want to create this directory only, no files inside that. So if I run, just check if I run this one, we also can do that. Suppose if there is no directory present, then we'll create the directory and then move that file to that particular directory. So it's saying directory created. Let's check. Yep, output moved without any object. See, the directory was archive, output, and moved. Let's see, archive, output, and moved. Okay, so this maybe this can be useful for some cases. Okay, I'll just show you the code for that. Create directory. Yeah, here what I'm doing is I'm taking the key. Like we can avoid this. Okay, yes, we can avoid this, and we're taking the key directly. Key, we can take key directly, and like uh, create a put object request with a request body empty, and yep, with this we'll be able to create a directory only, create directory only without any object in it. Okay, so now there's one more method left, which is control F12 object exist. In version 1 of SDK for Java, we had a simple object method called does object exist or not. Does object exist? uh, with that method we would directly check whether the directory is present or not, like that particular key is present or not. But but for version 2 of SDK, we have another method called head object. Okay, so head object also takes a request, and it returns a response which is like kind of a not used. We can use that response to check whether it's true or false. Okay, so I'll just show you how it works. It's a static method, so what I'll do is s3 operation dot head object, oh sorry, yeah, object exist. It takes key. So here I can do two types of verification. First one, say it doesn't have any key right now. Okay, so I'll verify whether this directory is present or not. Archive output moved. Archive slash output slash move. Sorry. To verify, I need the response object. Okay. So let's test it. I just want to check whether this directory structure is present or not. Okay, so let's run. See, this exists. Say if I remove this, now it won't consider moved as a directory. See, it's not considering moved as a directory, it's considering moved as a file, so it's not getting any file with moved name. Okay, that's why it's saying no, it's not present. Now let's check for a file. We don't have a file in input output. Okay, must be having one in input. Yeah, file. So for this particular file I'm getting the key easily, so let's just check for this particular key. See, it exists. This is sometimes it's useful when, say, due to some like due to some errors, due to some scenarios, we may not be sending the correct path or the correct key. So this validation helps. Like with this validation, we can verify that the path is incorrect, and we'll ask the user or the API to just we can yeah so that we can just convey them that this is incorrect, please send the correct information, instead of asking AWS to create that directory. Okay, in some scenarios we would expect users or someone or the API to give the correct path. If it's not there, then we should throw an error instead of creating that path. For that, we this object exists method is used methods are useful. Okay, so like we have covered upload object, delete object, sorry, download object, then delete list objects, object exist or not, create directory only. Now we'll come to generate upload URL and download URL. See, the concept behind generate upload and download URL is that suppose I am the I have a role I have a role to play in AWS, and there is someone with root access, and we as a as a user of AWS with a particular role want a third person to access or upload a file into S3, but we don't want to give our credentials to him directly or her directly. So what happens in this case is AWS has given us a feature called pre-signed URLs. So in pre-signed URLs, what happens is, see, in pre-signed URL, what happens is, say for say say for example for this object, if yeah, I can generate a download URL for this particular file, so that a third person can just click on that particular link, and he or she will get that particular file in their local system. And for upload, like we'll generate a key with that, but we'll generate a key, and we'll ask the to user or an API to upload their files into AWS using that upload URL key. Oh no, sorry, upload URL. Let's go to testing. Mm. Here, see, first we'll look into download URL. What I am doing over here is I am passing a path of a key of AWS. See, it's archive input moved. pdf3.pdf. Do I have a file with that name? Let's check. In this case is that method is helpful, like object exists or not. So I'll just give this key over here. Okay, so and just comment out this. Okay, so let's run it. Hmm. Connected to S3 pre-signer made successfully connection. Sorry, and download URL has been generated successfully for key this and bucket this. So this is the URL, and if I just copy the URL and go to my browser, see, now we can download that file from there. Okay, so the user can download that file from the browser only once they get this particular link. Now let's come to download. Sorry, upload URL. What I'm doing over here is, see, in this particular case, I want my file to be uploaded in this particular with this particular key, pdf3 upload url.pdf. For that, what I'm doing is okay, I need a file to upload. So say, okay, first let me copy this. Then hmm. So I'm using this upload URL method, and I'm generating the URL, and using that URL I'm doing a simple HTTP connection, making a post request, and in the output stream I'm just passing the file which I want to upload using that URL. Okay, this is basically a API to